All right, we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome back for the third episode of the closing table. Here is the man, the myth, the legend of the real estate world in not only Delaware County but Philadelphia, Chester County, and beyond. Dan, the man. Oh, Dan, what's your last name again? Say it for me because I'm going to say
Yeah,
it wrong.
come on, Jeremy Dell got you straight. Pizzi. In Italian,
I'm
it's
always going to say
Pizzi.
it wrong. I
I
always
know.
want to say,
I'm go-
yeah, but
we're gonna have Germ back on to
Your,
get you
your
straight.
mom, if your mom ever meets me, she's going to smack me upside my head.
Yeah, well, your lighting's better today, so she'll be happy with your lighting.
But she's going to be mad at you.
We feels like forever. We were just talking a little bit, catching up on some things. You know, Danny and I went to Vegas to see the Golden Knights play, and we had the Super Bowl. And the Sixers made a trade, so we have a lot going on. First, I want to start with this because Bay had a terrific lineup today of entertainment on his network. If you have not subscribed, take a look at the content. It's awesome, and Bay guides people through the shows in a wonderful manner. Totally driven entertainment, totally driven TV on YouTube. So hit, as they say on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to Bay's network, please. We're brought to you by my company, Next Home Brandywine. That's nexthomebrandywine.com for all of your real estate needs. We'll be heading to conference next month, and we'll give you a lot of updates on the industry, our company, what's going on. Things are shifting, never stay stagnant in the real estate world. And I wanted to give you some updates here. One thing Bay mentioned before we went live, he said, we're winging it. None of this is scripted, so I didn't want it like that. I wanted it to be like Sunny Hill, if we know Sunny Hill, that like the living room, and so it's just like we're sitting in our parlor, as an Angie would say, and we're just having a discussion.
But
And
where's
that's
the
kind of what we do.
Entenmann's cake? Where's
Yes,
the
I
where's
know.
the Entenmann's cake?
And Angie used to say she lived in Derby, and she used to say, "Do you want to go into the parlor?" So we used to go in the parlor after we ate and just kind of have a discussion. Before we bring our guest on, I'm excited to bring these girls on. They're two of my favorite people here. You know, we'll go back to the premise of this program. Yes, it's a sponsor program by Next Home Brandywine. I wanted to give you, instead of me spending money on Zillow, last year I personally, like I said, I did almost $6 million in volume myself. $0 on buying leads. I want your real estate experience to be personal to some extent, whether it's a referral, but I don't want to buy leads, buy business. For me, I'm old school Century 21, and I just don't do it. And with Next Home, and I want to read this because I want to get it straight. We have a motto at Next Home of humans over houses. So a couple years ago, Next Home came up with the phrase humans over houses, and it really has been a movement, and it recast the way real estate is done in America. The hashtag has reached thousands on social media, sharing personal stories of real people. And we're going to bring Diane and Darlene on, and that's exactly who they are, having a deeply personal experience buying or selling a home. If we lose sight of the humans in the transaction, we are out of the business, right? So we want that personal connection. There is definitely a place for technology, but we want that personal connection in our real estate business and our business units. That really is the heart of it. With someone with something as intimate and complicated as real estate, you cannot lose sight of that personal connection. So I wanted to bring that up. And I spent a lot of time thinking, who do we want to bring on as guest? And, is it going to be entertaining, and does it stay with the narrative? Everybody in this world today has a narrative. So our narrative is that personal connection and our personal touch with people, kind of 3 degrees removed, how we know people, how we were brought up, and how we come together when I represent you in a real estate transaction. A few things here before we go and bring the girls on. Market shifted again. The market always shifts. So I can't stress enough, whether it's me or another professional realtor that understands how to navigate changing markets, because there's little idiosyncrasies of the marketplace that if you've been involved in a market that is in the process of shifting, you have some experience in navigating that. And there's a lot of things that go into that. There's still houses available. It is a very tight market. So what we're in now, and you'll see some posts from me, we're in a market in which there's not enough listings coming on the market for the demand. And it's that we've been saying that for over a year, but it is getting a little bit tighter. It really is. So a lot of people are saying from the seller side, they're saying, I can sell and make a boatload of money, but where do I go? Right, bait. I got nowhere to go. They said, what am I going to buy? There's not enough inventory for me to find a house to sell my house and either move up or downsize. So we have a little bit of a stagnant market right now. That being said, we are still doing business. I have got a referral from my buddy Joe DeFeo, who works at the casino in Chester. He referred a young lady to me that was looking for a first-time home buyer. We looked at a couple. We actually came upon one in Sharon Hill. She needed to be pre-qualified for a mortgage. She hooked up with one of my preferred mortgage lenders, Bo DeForge, and Bo was able to get her a loan with the loan type is PHFA, and she qualified for a grant of $10,000. So Bo looked at her information, called her and said, look, I think you qualify for this grant program. Let's look at it. So not only was he able to well position her as far as the type of loan, but he was able to get her $10,000 of the grant. There was multiple offers on the house and we won the bid. So she's getting into a property that in the area she wants to be in. It has reasonable taxes, and she was able to get a $10,000 grant. So if you work with the right professionals, like anything, like when I first started doing the ring announcing, you're kind of green and you learn as you go. But if you have the right partners, it really helps position you in this marketplace. So, I guess give you, since we're going to talk a lot about Fallcroft tonight, some Fallcroft market data. Typical house price over there right now is $168,000. It is up 15.6% over last year in that borough in Southern Delco. Typical values a year ago were only $146,000. And check this out. There's only 12 homes for sale.
Whoa.
In the entire borough. So I had a girl call me. I went to St. George's with her, friend of mine. And it was very nice of her. She said, from the sounds of things and from the looks of things on Facebook, you're the guy to go to. I want to look in Garnet Valley. This is what I'm looking for. I have very particular interest, and I'm looking to be a move.
They could have bought my old house.
Right. So they're saying, hey, and a lot of people looking for specifics. So she's saying, I'm looking for very much a needle in a haystack. When I looked up Garnet Valley, which is like Boothwyn, all the way up to Route 1, I think the other day, the last I looked, there was 6 houses for sale. So the inventory's really, really tight right now. So you have to jump on things and you have to be ready to buy. You have to be qualified for your mortgage. You have to have your real estate professional literally on standby and be ready to buy, because we're in a very tight market. And, that's kind of where we're at right now with real estate. There's a lot of moving parts. So we're just going to I got a lot of calls this week. They said, Dan, what are we going to do? It's slow. For me, I stick to the plan, stick to the pattern. And they were talking about, I was watching hockey the other night, and they were talking about the Penguins being, had a ton of injuries, right? But they stuck to the program that the coach laid out, and the next guy up syndrome, but everybody knew what offense to run, what defense to run, and how to work within that organization. That's kind of what we do. We just stick with the plan. We chameleon when we have to, but we stay the course. We stay patient, and everybody knows I'm not that patient. We stay patient. And I jump out of my skin wanting to help people like everybody else, but we have to stay the course and kind of roll along here. So, Bay, we're going to bring in 2 dear friends of mine here, Diane and Darlene. Bay does not know them. And here they are. Look at this.
Hi.
Look at
Danny Pizzi.
All
hey
done
guys,
up.
how you doing?
Thanks for coming on, girls. This is awesome. So
they both look devious. I'm just gonna say off the bat, like they're already like plotting, like they're up to something.
So if you're saying the same,
yeah, right, exactly.
Who's the most devious of the 2 of them, Bay? You want to take a guess?
Darlene.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, absolutely. Darlene it is definitely Darlene. So I was thinking about who to bring on the show. And, again, it goes back to the humans over houses and kind of having fun. I'm watching some other podcasts and they're talking real estate. It's so damn boring. I mean, nobody wants to hear that constantly on your podcast. They get it, right? So we want to bring in some guests and have some fun. And I was trying to figure out, it's hard to think of guests for the program. So I'm trying to think of who we bringing in here. And I just thought of these two girls. They grew up with me in Fallcroft. They're both just flat out awesome. I put all my notes here. They're just a ton of fun.
Thanks, Dan.
And
Thanks. Right back at you.
I thought that would be a great. Bay doesn't know you. Bay's an Upper Darby guy, so we can bust on Bay.
Hey, Upper Darby when Upper Darby was a little better. A lot better.
Are you
actually.
Upper Darby Bonner or Upper Darby?
No, he's Upper Darby.
Oh
Yes.
no!
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, we're going to bring in this picture. So this is how far back we go.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, God.
This is a Diane special. Diane pulls these pictures up. Wait a minute. Now, Bay couldn't pull it up live, so we got to do it ignorant style on my phone. What do you got? The
My
dog
dog
there?
is in
Yeah.
here. So
My dog left. I put my dog out because she would be nuts. All right, let's and we're going to get this picture right here. Get it in.
Oh, I love it.
All right, so I think
that was the big hill in full.
Is that Darlene on my far left here? What are those coats, girls? They're kind
Oh
of.
my God.
Where did Mom get those?
That's a mom special, right?
Look at. I don't know if you can see Colleen. Colleen McHugh is frozen there with a red hat on.
Yeah.
And as usual, I got the old Eagles with the pom pom. I had hair under there at that point. I had my big Eagles patch on my jacket. So that's how far back we go in Fallcroft.
I bet you wish you still had that jacket.
I think I have a million different Eagles jackets. I got every sports jacket you could imagine still. Some of them I don't get rid of. They're still in the basement. And my wife yells at me for not getting rid of my stuff. So, Darlene, you did not have ball tonight with Cole?
No, I did not. It got canceled. So he had a game last night, but it was moved to next week. So he has 3 next week.
Is that basketball?
Basketball, yeah.
Basketball? I may need to have to come down
Yeah.
and coach it. I coach St. George's.
Oh, they could use you, right, Darlene?
We need to do coach. They lost last night 45-6.
Oh, I've gotten destroyed too. I got
The
destroyed.
other games, they've only scored a total of probably 10 points
We've
in the
had-
4 games they played.
We had a challenge at Pope John Paul when I coached up there. We went to Philip and James. I think I'm banned from Philip and James. So they were always real good, and they would run up the score on you, right? They would run up the score on you. I'm all good for playing hard, but you have to back off at a certain point. So this coach was like 6'10". Then we must have been losing like 70-15. And then after the game, I just flat out called him out. I had to put my finger up. I'm like, you can't run up the score like that. It's CYO basketball. We got to be a little more, have a little more decor.
I know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to call the
we
Wolves
can
off.
use you. Huh?
You know what? I'll tell you, at that age, it's about confidence for the kids. It is the skill, but it's about giving them the confidence to shoot and to just go out there and play. Not so much and teach them. I kind of teach them when they're not that learned how to just get in position and kind of learn the game a little bit and then try to bring them along as you go. But it's confidence because a lot of them, even when Danny played the 1 year, they're nervous. They don't. I just kind of fill them up with a bunch of energy and run them out there and see what you get. But it's tough, especially if you don't get a lot of practice time.
They've only had 3 practices the whole season.
Yeah, that's the problem. And
Because of COVID, they canceled it for like 2 months.
and it's not like the old neighborhood. The boys, both the girls are probably, honestly, the girls are better than boys at that age. They don't go outside and play. They don't understand the game. I had kids that didn't even understand how to inbound a basketball. So you know what? Since we're talking basketball, let's start there. Let's start here. I wrote this down because I had to look up the time. So 1993. Yes, that's all right. It's all part of the ambiance of the program. So I told Bay, so these girls love sports, very active in Philadelphia sports. So it's 1993, 76ers. Who comes to mind? And do you remember us having partial season tickets? You guys
did?
Don't remember. You did too.
I had Philly season tickets.
No, you were at Sixers as well back then.
I had Sixers in Allen Iverson area. 01.
Sean Bradley. Remember Sean Bradley? Did you just go to the game with us? It was me, you, Larry, my buddy Larry Healy, and Darlene. It was 93 when they drafted Sean Bradley in that brutal year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but we didn't have season tickets then.
You must have came with us to that game.
But I probably came with you.
I remember all of us at a game way back then. We'll get into
Sorry
Falkirk
about
here
our
in a
dog.
minute, but that's all right. That's why I left my dog out of it, because she'll be in. My dog likes people and hates other dogs. She goes nuts. So let's talk Sixers down since we're on the subject, and then we'll get into the Golden Neighborhood a little bit. So Sixers made a big move.
I'm very excited about this.
So what do we think?
Yeah. I can't wait. Wait, first of all, did you see what he had on last night?
Yeah, what was it?
What was that outfit?
I don't know. What was it? Look like a vest or something? What was he wearing?
It was like a trench coat with the arms cut out, and then it was like oh my God, it was great. You should see the comments on Twitter, man. People were like putting all kinds. But no, I'm really excited to get him. I mean, Philly needs stars. They need star power, big time. And I think it's a good move.
I don't think they gave up that much on.
No, I don't think so. Ben Simmons wasn't even playing.
And then, you gave up Curry. He's inconsistent. He's a spot-up 3-point shooter. He doesn't play much defense. I did like Andre Drummond, but they're going to get a backup center at the buyout market. And honestly, I think the young guys like Paul Reed give you almost the same thing that Drummond gave you. So,
I like the other two. I'm glad we didn't give them up.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Yeah,
Who was it?
me
Maxey
too.
and
And Thibault. Thibault can't shoot, but nobody plays defense like that. So I mean, he's really going to be able to cover the other teams, the best players come playoff time. It's going to be an interesting run. They weren't going anywhere as set up, so it's going to be an interesting run for the Sixers moving forward.
Now, when's he actually going to debut?
That was my next point, Bay. These guys make $44 million, and this guy's going to take 2 weeks before he gets on the court.
I know. Well, I'm hoping they didn't want to do it before All-Star games at this weekend, right?
Correct, I think, yeah.
And so I'm hoping next week.
I heard next Tuesday there's an away
what takes
game.
so long? You know how to play basketball. Just get in there.
They're saying he had a hamstring injury, but you saw
Yeah.
TNT the other night, they said that was nonsense. See, I curved my language there. That was nonsense. They said on TNT that he really doesn't have a hand. You imagine years ago, though, you would be running to play for the new team. Couldn't wait to get in the lineup. Yeah. Now the guy's like $44 million, and seen about 10 days.
Yeah,
they got destroyed last night.
$4 million. Could you imagine?
Yeah, they did.
One player. One player.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
One player.
God, it's like Bryce Harper.
I know.
All overpaid.
And it trickles down to the people attending the games. Like we go to the Wings game. Danny and I have been having fun attending.
Where are they now? They're not Philly. They're like
no, they put a new team back together last year, so it is the Wings again. Yeah.
Okay.
So last year they reinvented the same team. They put a new team on the field. They had a draft and all, and they brought back the Philadelphia Wings.
Oh, all right.
But we went to the game. And I'm always complaining to my wife. The parking's $22, right?
Yep.
So you go to parking's $22. Then you go inside, right? So I get 1 beer, 1 soda, 2 chicken fingers from Chicky and Pete's, and one
$75.
$75.
Oh my God.
So the lady could tell by the look on my
it.
face. I said, Jesus Christ, I got to go sell another house
No
to
kidding.
pay for this food.
I know.
And we paid for the ticket. So to go to the game, just the Wings, which is, not a big four. It was $200. It was $100 for 2 tickets, and then $100 for food. Yeah, it's $200 to go to one game.
I didn't think they were that expensive.
Yeah, and we have season tickets, so it's like the tickets are like 45, 46 a seat, and then
that lower level at least.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it was decent. We got to move because we were a little bit too low to see the other end of the floor this year, but it's fun. It really is a lot of fun, but it's expensive. It's expensive.
It is. Yep.
I just got
looking to get some Sixers tickets, and bring Cole. He hasn't been to a game yet. And, I don't like to sit upstairs because I'm like a snob. I only like to sit lower level. And, you're talking at least $150.
And for the 3 years to go, it's $500 by the time you're done.
Yeah.
It's too much money. I mean, it really gets to the point to where we're going to Flyers on Monday, on President's Day, $29.
How'd you get
They're
that?
giving
They
them
should
away.
be free.
I know,
They're
I know. They're terrible. So
Yeah.
I remember my dad buying tickets when we were kids, paying like $75 a ticket back in the early '80s. And Danny hasn't been to the Flyers yet. And he's getting into hockey, so I thought, oh, we're for 20. They were so cheap. I am sitting upstairs, but in the first couple rows because I don't like sitting upstairs either. It's too.
No, I don't.
high
I
for
feel
me.
like
They're
I'm out
great
of the
seats
game.
though. The first couple rows up on the
Yeah.
second level are great seats.
That's why for $29, with the fees, it cost me like $70. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go.
That's not bad at all.
Well, you could afford it because how are you going to afford it? You know, we used to all go out and do things in the old neighborhood, but it was reasonable. Now
Right.
it just everything's just expensive. So
You used to walk up to golf.
So, hey,
go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, what did you guys do in the old neighborhood growing? I think you all know each other since little kids. Like I
That
picture
was
you
my
going
question, Ben.
to the 7-Eleven that was up there on the main
yeah.
drag and buying your candy and all together.
Danny,
So
did you
come on,
sit in
tell
the
us some
tub?
kid stories.
Did you
Well,
sit
you know
in
what
the
they
tub?
had? They had a candy store
At 7-Eleven?
Remember the candy store
Oh yeah, we did have that.
where the Chinese food is now.
Tina worked there.
Tina worked there?
Yeah, my sister is Tina. She worked there, and it was 2 doors down from or 3 doors. It was on the
Heights.
end where right up the street. No, where the remember the. You got it out of the plastic bins. It was by the restaurant, by the little restaurant.
Oh yeah, snacks
Yeah,
by
where
the
the
pound.
Chinese-
Wait, is that
What's
what it's
that?
called?
What was that,
The
Darlene?
Chinese
Snacks
store.
by the pound.
Yes,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
I
right.
forgot all about that.
I don't know how you remember the name, Diane. I don't remember.
I don't even know where that came from.
I don't know.
I have
don't know
two
the name.
stories Darlene and I were talking about to reminisce. The one, well, we always played kick the can. Like that was like all the kids in the neighborhood would play it. And the boundaries would always be Danny, your driveway to the black driveway. Do you remember that?
Was it
Where
down
you
the
could
Hooch
hide-
driveway?
What's that?
How far down did we go from my? Remember Hooch?
So it was from yours to like Jim or Batty's next door neighbor, that black driveway.
Oh yes.
Where the stack houses are.
Stackhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your dad, Darlene and I, had a car that had this thing on the back that we would run up and we would like bang it. It was like looked like a bullseye. Do you remember that?
It was probably the old Pontiac logo.
And it would ring. It would be like, bing.
Yes, Bay. It was the
I know,
gas
it was.
cap with the springs in it.
Oh yeah.
Remember that in the '77 Pontiac Grand Prix? It was the gas cap that had the spring. So if you hit it, it would ding.
Yeah.
Because that's how you knew that the cat was back on tight.
And all the kids would be like,
Used to
every
run
time
over
you
it.
went by it, they'd be like, get off of that thing.
So I grew up at 722 School Lane. We were the twins. So we were what we used to say as kids, we were the king of the poor because we lived in the row homes were behind us and we lived in the twins on School Lane. And I was at 722 towards the top of the street and the Bednariks were down probably halfway, a little more than halfway down at 740. Yeah. And today we talked about this before, Darlene's son Cole, you don't walk down the street to play with kids that much anymore.
No. He doesn't do that here.
I was wondering how it was in it. So they moved a couple years ago and, you lose touch. You see those pictures of when we were kids, but when they went to sell the house, they thought of me nice enough to call me and let me handle the sale of their house on School Lane with their mom, Joanne. But, it's a different, we used to walk down to the neighbor's house. And if your mom wasn't home, then one of the other neighbors would get you off the bus. There was no cell phone.
Carpooled, remember?
Yeah.
St. George's?
So the bus, they stopped busing us at St. George's later on. They discontinued the bus, and we had to form a carpool to go. This would never happen because people wouldn't be on the same page. We had to form a carpool in the neighborhood. So it was. I was older. Darlene's the youngest. Is Colleen younger? What's Colleen? Is she?
They were in the same grade.
They were in the same grade. So it was me, then Diane, and then Darlene and Colleen McHugh. And we had to have, that was it, right? Was that it?
That was it.
That was our carpool. So the moms would take turns driving us back and forth from school in the later years. So,
and when Jim McHugh would pick us up, man.
Yes. So we had Mr. McHugh from Ireland.
Yeah.
Do
it, Darlene.
Did you see my note?
Yeah.
Did you see my note on it? So when it was time to come in at night, Bay,
I love
Mr. McHugh with his Irish brogue would stand on the front steps and fall across. And he would say, Colleen!
Do it, Darlene! Do it.
And she go 5 minutes, Dad. Not 5 minutes later.
Every night. It would be at nightfall. There he was screaming up down the street. There was no cell phones.
we just had a camaraderie amongst the
But
neighbors.
you know what the funny thing is about that too? Like I remember, like I could be 3-4 blocks away, and my mom would just holler out the kitchen window, and I could be like, I live 4 blocks from 69th Street. I could be on 69th Street, and I would hear bang. I'd be
That's
like,
awesome. Right.
and you gotta run home.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I had to be in at 4:30 because if I wasn't in at 4:30 or whatever, that 4:45
4:30 for dinner.
Yeah, because my dad got off at like 4, and we ate it like, I think we ate it like 4:45. So you had to be in before dinner was on the table. If you weren't in, today there's no discipline. If you were not in, your ass was in trouble. You had better be in that house before the dinner was on the table.
We ate at 4 o'clock right at the General Hospital.
Oh, that's great.
So my grandfather, we ran the lunch trucks together, my mom's father, and he would get up at 4 a.m. to run the lunch trucks. And then
Where was he at? Where was he stationed?
Clifton Heights. We were right along Springfield Road in Clifton Heights, and it was right where Scaramuza's is now.
Mm-hmm.
You ever go over there where Scaramuza's is now, right along the Madison Avenue in Clifton. But speaking of General Hospital, he had to be home at 3 to watch General Hospital. My grandfather.
That's
that was
great.
Your 3 o'clock. Yeah, you know him how tough he was. He was a concrete guy, and we ran the lunch truck. 3 o'clock, man, he had to be in and watch his story. We call my story.
Absolutely.
3 o'clock, he had to be in there to watch his stories.
I used to sit there with my mom and grandmother every day at 3 o'clock.
And you know, if you stepped out of line in the old neighborhood, you still watch it. I can't watch it. It's too much.
I don't watch it.
You know, your mom would know if you were in trouble before you even got home. We didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Like the crossing guard would tell someone else, and they would tell your mother. I mean, before you got in, you knew if you stepped out of line. And we were allowed to venture out into the village. Today, when my guys were little, I didn't let them go anywhere.
No way. I know.
It's too.
You can't let them go
I don't
anywhere.
let Bo walk anywhere. It scares me.
Has he adjusted? So how many years? 2 or 3 you've been going from Falkirk?
2.5.
Yeah.
It'll be 3. We moved here in August. We got the house, but we had to live. We lived in a hotel in Glen Mills for a couple months because our house sold right away because it had a great realtor. And that
was the start of the boom.
Here.
They're nice folks that bought it. That was the start of the boom when things started really taking off.
I mean, you're right because within a year, like 6 houses between Colleen 714, and then down to I guess the Shorts house, which was only a few past mine.
And the values haven't went up that much since you left. I mean, they kind of moderated over there. There's always so much, in that neighborhood that it's, you can draw at this point over there. But the Darlene, is Cole settled in Jersey? Is it different than being in Falkirk? Does he like it?
Yeah, he likes it.
Does he like the school?
He's an easy kid. He really is. He gives me he's just whatever, Mom. It's just. He's a homebody.
Is he? Yeah, that's how Danny is. He's a computer guy too, right? He does his devices and all that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. He's saving up for a new laptop.
There's so many different things. I just bought Danny a desktop. There's not many places to get that stuff anymore.
Do you go Apple or you go? Because we're debating.
I'm not as personally as good with Apple. I had an Apple because I worked at the recycling place, so we used to get a bunch of computers out of there. So I worked on some old Apples, little quirks with them. I didn't go Apple. I went to up in St. David's. What's the name of that?
I know exactly.
Comp
what
is that?
Computers and More, what's it called?
What's it?
CompUSA.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, is it still
CompuTech?
Is it still there?
Yeah,
it is. That's where I got my first iPad, like all those years. Because I work in Radnor, right there.
Right there is where they're at, right off the 30th. So I bought Dana. I'm sitting in his room. A Power Spec. They build them there, so you can and they have different models, and they can even custom build, but you can get what you want.
Is that for gaming?
Yeah, and his was like. It was for gaming, and we wanted some. I don't know. We wanted some specific things with the gaming card and stuff like that for him. So we kind of went.
Cole wants a gaming computer.
Yes, that's what Danny got. I'll get you the model. They had the most reasonable. Yeah, I think. Of course, I only wanted to spend like $1,300 or something. I ended up spending like $1,700. But I figured if you get the cheaper one in 2 years, it's no good.
Exactly.
So you're trying to get something that lasts at least 4 or 5 years. So. I said that. I said I wanted an orange round ball that was $10, and now I've spent $1,500 on a computer. I mean, what the hell?
And then they need an iPad. They need all of it, right?
I mean, I wanted the tearaway pants, so when I got off the bench and Mr. Gamble put me in the game, I could rip my pants off in basketball and get in the game, right? And the orange basketball. I'm like, it was only $20, and you're asking me for a $1,700 computer.
I know.
Yeah, really.
I'm like, you kids need to go outside and play ball. That's why when you put them on the court, they have no clue what the heck they're doing because they're sitting on those computers all the time.
Yeah.
So, let's go back. I have some questions that, I thought Bay started kind of along those lines, comparing some of the food. And I still love my spots every time I go back down that way. And fall.
Nothing like Delco and Philly food down here in Nashville. I tell you that.
Wait, are you in Nashville?
Where are you?
Yes. The Bay's
I'm
in
in
Nashville.
I didn't know you were down there.
He chasing the love of his life to Nashville.
Yeah, I moved here 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Wow. Good for you.
You like
Do you
it?
like
Thank
it?
you.
Is it too slow?
You know what? I love it. Slow. Yeah, the people here. I mean, there's a different breed of people here. Everybody wants to like.
Though?
Yeah, because everybody's nice and respectful and they want to be your friend. Everybody wants to talk to you and hang out. Back home, it's like screw you, and they they don't want to be bothered. So
yeah,
You're not in Upper Darby anyway.
It's changed a lot down there over the years.
Yeah.
It's very eclectic down. I'm down there. I'm everywhere, but I'm down there. I was just down in Frankfurt. That neighborhood has changed a ton. Along where Rocky ran along the L line.
Mm-hmm.
All the stores are closed along Frankfurt Avenue. And not one's open. Since the pandemic, every store is shuttered along that stretch.
That's
so it's
terrible.
It's sad. I saw CVS. It was about 5 years old, and it was freestanding in a big parking lot, all boarded up and spray painted.
CVS?
Yeah, like 5-year-old CVS, like brand new building, millions of dollars to get it up, and beautiful parking lot. The building was all spray painted, all boarded up.
That's terrible.
There's a lot going on down there in those areas. I'm in Southwest Philly right now. I got one on 66th Street in Southwest. Different neighborhood than Frankfurt, but the trash and the blight and the stores are falling apart in some areas. It's a shame. It's just a shame that people aren't taking care of things like they used to. What happened to the dog there, Darlene?
You said
He's
is that
right
the dog?
here.
Oh, it's Chester.
I'll put the bar collar on him.
Does he not like to be picked up too? Oh,
no.
God.
He hates it.
Yeah, I thought so. Jess is like that. So I remembered
Really?
that from Chester. Don't like.
Yeah,
to be
you
picked up.
can't pick him up. He'll snap at you.
So back in the old neighborhood, Bay was kind of split on where you ate. Mm-hmm. So we had 3 shopping centers, but 2 were the older centers, and they put a little small one in between. So it depends on where you were. We had Mike Keener on, so he was on the left side as you walked up our street in that area, in that center. So he enjoyed Fallcroft Pizza and that. Mm-hmm. And then personally, myself, I went to Lafayette Pizza, where I still go today. They've been there since like '83.
Same guy.
Yeah, same guys.
Is he still there?
Yeah, 237-9800.
Yeah.
I know the number by heart.
He's got that on speed dial.
Oh my God. They had the best pizza steaks too. Like we were in grade school and high school.
Yes.
We played hooky. We would call and get pizza steaks from there.
So when I worked at the airport with the Geraces, I used to come back at like 12, right when they were closing. So any food that wasn't picked up, I got at the end of the night.
Did they really?
They would say they were Greek guys. They say, "We saved this for you, buddy. We saved this for you." So I knew it wasn't picked up. And then my dad was like waiting to eat it when I got home. So
he knew.
I know you girls used to go to. There was 2 delis, Majors and Sandy's Country Made. So right. Mike, my friend Jim, used to work for him. He has 5 delis now. He bought Sandy's Country Made off an older lady, Sandy, who sold it to him. And it was that old school. We don't have it up here in Chester County. It was that old school deli.
Mm-hmm. They don't have it here either.
No, that's what I'm saying. Don't it drive you nuts?
Yeah.
You can't get
you can't just go to up the street to get lunch meat.
What about how they? Yeah, Bichetti brothers.
Bichetti's, yeah. Bichetti's.
What about how they cut the meat? Because out here, and my wife says, "Stop! You can't yell at them every time." Like I asked him, I go, what are you cutting? Like a side of beef? Like,
Yeah.
I can't have this thick ass meat.
Yeah.
They say they chip it. People go to the counter and say, can I have it chipped? And I'm like, is something wrong with you? Like it's disgusting.
I like it chipped,
I
to
was
be
gonna
honest
say
with you.
she likes it chipped.
I do like it chipped
Your
because
friend
come out
Diane.
here.
then it's real small, but most of the time it's just cut
You can come out here. They chip it all
regularly.
the time.
We go to this place called the Amish Market in Mullica Hill.
Yes, I know
but
where it
they're
is.
only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So like Monday, right? You didn't get there, or you didn't eat your meat. You didn't get your meat for the week or whatever. And we can go to Botto's here. There's like a restaurant, but there's a store. There's like a store, but there's no like retweeties, and there's no.
So talk about that for a minute. Wasn't in it because I know when I moved out here. I'm on the Lancaster border in the coastal area.
Yeah.
The adjustment of having the all of that grab and go quick eats options in Fallcroft, and then you move out to more rural areas and you have next to nothing.
There's nothing. It took a minute to get used to it. Everything is 30 minutes from where we live now. So
30 minutes is like 5 minutes in Fallcroft terms.
Yeah. You went up the
for it.
street and everything was there. But I will say the things that you need on the daily basis, like for me, I'm a Dunkin' Donuts. I gotta have my coffee. Like within like a couple minutes there, you got your Dunkin' Donuts, your Wawa, your CVS, all that's here. But if you need to go to Target or
And we do have an
HomeGoods or
Acme.
anything, yeah,
It's
there's an
overpriced
Acme, and
but hey.
so
Everything's
everything you really need
overpriced
is
at
here.
Acme.
But what's that?
I said everything's overpriced at Acme.
Oh,
I miss
yeah, this
Acme.
Acme is crazy overpriced.
Oh.
Tell Bay about your boy at the top of the street in Fallcroft at the Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, I loved it. Well, he was actually at the one in on McDade and Glen. What was his name?
Oh, we used to go there.
Nicky P.
Oh, Nicky P. Nick, and he was so nice. Everyone knew him, like in Delco.
When you were moving, you took like a picture with him when you were
Well, he went and opened a Dunkin' Donuts out by, I think, near where you live, Dan. I think it's in Montgomery County or Chester County. He moved and opened his own. But like he was so nice. Like you give him the coupon back when like Dunkin' Donuts actually would have coupons. Now forget it. And then he would give it right back to you. So like, and so 99 cents today, 99 cents tomorrow for the whole month, 99 cents. So he knew how to.
So here's what's going on out here. We have one Dunkin' Donuts. My wife loves Dunkin' Donuts. We have one, right? So one close.
That's like Nashville.
Guess what? He doesn't have the help. He's not open.
I know. They're doing that here too.
So we go nuts, right? So
they close at 2 o'clock now.
3 o'clock, Bay's closed. And on the weekends, they
God.
close. So now I want to go get a cup of coffee on a Saturday at 4 o'clock. And then I forget every time.
I know.
And I pause. Mm-hmm. This is some bitch. I worked retail for years. You didn't close. Your butt stayed open. They can't get help.
They can't get
help.
help.
And think about it. One Dunkin' Donuts. You go to Delaware County, you can go to 3 within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
One Dunkin' Donuts. The guy's packed all the time. He's losing money like crazy, but he can't stay open because of everything that's going on. So we have limited stores, and they're not open regular hours because of the COVID. And they just,
I think it's like that here, but like all the stores are closed by 8 o'clock. Even like Home Goods, like we have to go to. So if we have to go to either Deptford or Christiana or Glen Mills, everything's 30 minutes. But the ones in New Jersey, I think they all close at 8. The member stores will be open until 9:30 or 10, and it was at 7 for a little while. But
have you adjusted to the dark? Is it dark down there? Because there's no street lights out here.
It's really dark.
When
you were driving, and it's really.
Wasn't an adjustment because I thought it was like The Shining out here or something.
Yeah,
it's
really.
I used to walk around with a flashlight. I'm like, I need a light. I can't stand this.
We live in a development, so when you're in development and if you walk the dog, it's fine. But as soon as you leave and you go out on those, it's like all county highways. So it's just. But I got to tell you, I love it. I can't believe I love it, but I do. Like when I had to go back to Delaware County, I still have some doctors there and stuff. So I went like a week or two ago to the dentist on 420 between Chester Pike and McDade Boulevard. All I did, like I'm getting off, there's traffic everywhere. And I mean, it's one little strip of road and I couldn't wait to get out of there.
I'll tell you, now that you're gone from that atmosphere, both of you, do you see a difference? Like, to me, when I go back, because I'm not there every day, it feels different. The traffic's definitely tenfold. It feels old. The neighborhoods don't feel the same. But when you're there, you don't see it.
Does like the houses and everything seem smaller?
I don't know about smaller, but it looks different. I drove down our old street too when I was over there, and it's only been 3 years. I mean, but it looks different. And
but everybody's gone.
Yeah.
That really went fast in 3 years.
Yeah.
Darlene,
Aldo died, but then a Hughes, and then
I go through everybody used to live there when I go down the street. Whose house was whose? I go down every house. When I drive down the street, I go, this was this one's house. That was Wallhour's house. And I go down, but there's a few left. Batty, Mrs. Smith is still there. There's a few still there.
And Sue Gamble's still there.
Hopefully we'll be moving Sue sooner than later.
Oh,
so
God,
you know who else is still there? Todd.
I hope so. Oh, Todd, right? He was there when I left. When we left.
That the son bought the house from the parents, or is the parents still there?
I don't know. They maybe left it to it because they both died.
They both passed too?
Yeah, he died a while ago, and then she died. So he had been living there when we left.
Hey, Bay, you talk about. I used to think shoveling that 2-car driveway was like a big deal, and now my driveway is about 7 times the size of that driveway.
We were just talking about that, right, Dar?
And that driveway was so tight. How's that driveway looking? Your old driveway is 740.
Oh, wait, it looks awful.
Listen, that's an inside joke. And Julie said I'm not allowed to talk about it. She goes, anything you do, don't talk about that driveway.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. It looks the same as it did, except it's a little.
I told Julie every time I go by, I take a picture of it.
Oh my God.
Time.
Well, you know what? I wanted to, but like nobody's there. At least when Aldo is there, when we go, like if he was outside, I would stop and get out of the car and say hi. Right. But there's nobody there now that knows who we. Oh, Jack Meehan. He's probably still there. But like if I'm pulling over taking a picture, they're probably it's this girl.
So Bay, we had to do the driveway started to go bad.
Oh my
God,
I can't believe you're going to.
So I'll say
it was the cracks in the concrete.
Yes.
It was
so we had to we did a quick patch, Bay, and we did some blacktop repair over the concrete, and
it was a Danny special.
It was a Fallcroft old school special. We do what we have to do to get you out. It was
that's right. Oh my God,
here's Bay, the day of settlement. I said maybe just park the car there.
We are so afraid they're in
that driveway. I'll never forget.
You know what? It was so much better, but because there was a crack that went across.
And it was hot when we put it down. I'll say this though, like when we, one of my friends, and he's a character in real estate. He used to say to people, "I didn't know you were buying a new house," and those houses were built in I think '67. There's only so much you're going to do when you're moving. In real estate, you want to convey a safe house.
Yeah.
So anything that's an issue as far as electric, we did new service cable on that house and stuff. Yeah. You want to make sure you're conveying a safe house. But some of the deferred maintenance items, you can't fix everything. You have to offer accordingly that the new buyer. I mean, their house was kept beautiful.
And especially you're giving a seller assist too.
Right.
So it's like,
there's some. It's funny. I'll tell you this. I'm selling one in Ravenwood, the old pink brick ones next to 7-Eleven.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I Darlene, when we had the mask on, our facial expressions were better. I could have all my facial expressions. So it's Mr. Pastorina's my brother-in-law's friend's father, and they're selling the house. But I met the people that are buying it are coming from this is the neat part of real estate, and it's how the neighborhood has changed over the years. He lives in the Bronx in New York. The family started to move to Fallcroft because somebody moved into Fallcroft. They like it. Everybody's moving down. They're from Nigeria, and a lot of them are recent Nigerian immigrants, and they're moving down to Fallcroft. It's interesting as could be. So now I'm in the process of moving all these Nigerians out of the Bronx down to Fallcroft. I had a friend that was Polish that did a lot of business in Port Richmond, where I just sold the house, and they used to move to Norwood in droves. So she used to do all kinds of business, sell in Port Richmond, buy Norwood. All of a sudden, someone gets stuck on a neighborhood, and everybody kind of follows down. So you're
That's
seeing
how like they were years ago in Philly, right? You had all the different neighborhoods.
So when we first started to sell in Fallcroft, it used to be like the people from Lansdowne, Yeadon, Darby Township, Southwest Philly. They were moving into Southern Delaware County, but now you're seeing it become people from other areas. We're getting a lot of people from New York moving down, and they're moving down into Fallcroft.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you would never think like New York City suburbs would know about Fallcroft.
They like the convenience of the neighborhood, right? So it's not as convenient. We could jump on the Blue Route. When me and Danny go to a sporting event, we have to drive an hour and 10 minutes to get to the stadium.
Right.
When we could have literally almost walked from Fallcroft.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Me and my dad used to leave at 10 after 7 for a 7:35 Phillies game and be in our seats.
Yep.
So
you didn't even get on a highway. You just
and when you went to the airport,
Yep.
somebody could just drop you off because it was a round trip 20-minute run. I mean, you're shot right down Hook Road and you drop someone off at the airport. So now it's like a big ordeal to go to the airport. You have to go, you got to park the car. I can't, and you have to pay all that money. Yeah. And I used to just call up a neighbor and say, hey, can you drive us down to the airport? So it's definitely an adjustment.
Because you were right there.
Yeah, it was convenient. So all in all, you guys are adjusting to the new to the new digs. Mom is adjusting.
Love it.
So, Bay, I'll tell you this real quick. So, my son's the same way. Procrastinate as a kid. So, we used to have to type stuff, right? Type papers and stuff, right? So, I don't know. I never did anything. So, the last minute, I would have all the stuff done, but my mom didn't type. So, I would say to my mom, don't worry about it. I'm just calling Joanne, who's Diane and Darlene's mom. I'm just calling Joanne. Joanne loves me, Mom. She's going to type the paper for me.
Right.
Mom said, you cannot ask Mrs. Bednarik to type that paper for you. I said, Mom, I give it some money, whatever. Have it type. So anytime I called, this is how it was in the old neighborhood. Anytime I called, Miss Bednarik, I need to type this paper for you. She could type like 120, 130. I mean, she could fly through the typewriter. So it was no big deal for her. It's like one page, take her 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess, wait, hold on. I guess this is your mom. It was my pleasure, she said.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, you can comment on it.
See that? She's listening.
That is her.
As she also said, Danny was the mayor of Fallcroft.
See, she told me that. I told my wife that. Because my wife has a hard time. I said, Mrs. Bednarik said I could have been a mayor in Fallcroft right there.
You could hear Danny. Danny would talk about being 4 blocks over.
So loud.
You could hear Danny 4 blocks over, just talking, screaming. He was like a screaming talker, like with his big voice, right?
You get fights every night. They play basketball. Baseball across the field, across the street. Every night, there's Danny getting in a fight.
You know what?
Screaming,
did he always?
We're like, there he goes.
Did he always sound like Joe Pesci?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Bay, I'll tell you this story. We used to play tennis racket baseball against the guys in the village. So we were cross straight, right? With the tennis. So it was like a big deal. It was like a rivalry all summer long. So a fight broke out, right? So back in the day, you could actually get in fist fights and put it behind us. So a fight breaks out. So Jackie Rafter, remember Jackie Rafter? Remember him?
I don't know him.
They used to call him Jackie. I think his name was John.
John Rafter.
Of course, he was a lot bigger than me. He had a brother. I think Jackie was the one brother. So we got all of a sudden a fight broke out. Everybody starts fighting. So he comes running after me. Now I'm the smallest guy out there as usual, He comes running after me with his fist out. So Bay, you know me, I'm Mr. Wrestling, right? So I get him in an arm bar, right? I get his arm, I twist his arm, I put pressure on it. He's screaming, I'm screaming. Who's your daddy, boy? And my mother's on the front steps. Danny, the guy's going to kill me, right? Like I was lucky to get him in a wrestling move, and I wanted to snap his arm off, right? So my mom's on the front step screaming, Danny, you're going to hurt that boy. I'm thinking, Ma, he's going to kill me. And I got to get him before he gets me. So she's like, you have to let him out of that arm bar. I'm like, no, Ma, I'm going to snap his arm off. I'm not letting him out of the arm bar. So then my dad comes home and she says, your son put him in an arm bar. I told him don't do those wrestling moves outside. He's going to hurt somebody. But Bill War always tells that story to this day. We used to have these competitive sporting events, and our Fallcroft was competitive. I mean, it's different today.
It had good teams, like good sports teams, good cheerleading, good everything. It was a really great. I was so proud to be from there.
You know, it's funny. Renee Rubitucci, who grew up at 726, she's a big time marketing professional now. She said, let's buy up all the old houses in the old neighborhood and we all move back in, because that's what we had over there. That was like, that was our neighborhood. That was our humans over houses. And, you know, I'm moving a lot of people still out of there, and I'm getting a lot of calls. Park Fiske, if you remember, Park used to deliver for Lafayette. I just moved his mom out of there, you know, so people move on and the neighborhoods change. I know you guys love the shore, so your new house is closer.
Yeah, actually, it's not. Believe it or not, we're in New Jersey, and it's closer in mileage, but it takes longer to get there. Because from Fallcroft, I didn't care about the toll. I would go right down like 42 to the expressway to the Parkway, and I was there an hour. And
so you don't go you don't go 42?
No, you can't, because 47 it's way out of the way. 55.
Yeah, that's the way I go. But that's the way we always went.
50.
Yeah, that's the way we always went.
So we thought, oh yeah, we'll be closer, and it's longer. It's like an hour and 20, hour and 25. Nothing crazy, but like I was hoping it was going to be like under an hour, because we like to go a lot, especially me. I go every weekend. Do
you really?
Yeah.
Do you stay with friends down there, or?
So I like to do a lot of day trips. Okay. If I go myself, but you know, I will vacation for a week here or there, stay weekends. But
so Tina and Mike just are buying a house tomorrow in Bethany.
Oh, so nice.
My sister and I, So they were going down there with my sister's, with Mike's family, my brother-in-law's family, for years. They had a friend had a place, and they would go down. They would give them the place every year to stay. And so I gave them a referral down there, and they're going to they're settling tomorrow. Yeah, so they're at that stage. The girls are out of the house, and they can go down. Tina's a teacher; she can stay down all summer.
That's right. Nice.
So we're going to cover two more things to get out of here. One, you promised me dinner. We never hook up for dinner. You guys never set it up.
Let's do it. Let's put as soon as we're off of here, I'm gonna text you, and we're gonna get it on the calendar.
So Bay, they go out with their girlfriends.
Bring your mom. Bring them all.
Bay, they go out with their girlfriends. All right. And they don't call.
Every time we did it, it was like, every time we talk about it, it'd be like, all right, COVID's getting bad again, and then you're stuck in the house. You can't have people over.
I'll come down and meet you.
So, oh my God, as soon as we get off of here, I'm texting you. We're going to put a date. All right.
I can't believe it's been that long. You've been in the house.
I know. You've even been here. I can't even believe it.
Well, it's COVID. It's messed.
But we moved here, and within 5 months, COVID hit, and then for the first year, nobody came. I mean, even longer than the first year.
And Bay, Darlene's subdued tonight. Darlene's usually more.
That's because I talk a lot.
I'm more as quiet, as you can tell.
Wait, I got to say one thing though. Darlene and I thought of a great Fallcroft story.
Go ahead, let's go.
Do you remember we were all playing outside, and my mom comes out and says, "Let's all go. I'm going to take you guys all to Glen Olden Park." All of us pile in the car. Back then, didn't matter. You could sit on laps. Even 10 kids, right? Do you remember it though? And what happened, Dan?
I don't. The merry-go-round?
We were all over there, and because you guys were a little older, and you went like down the end of the park where there was some kind of fountain, and you saw like naked people in the fountain. You come running back. Do you remember?
And I know exactly where it was. I know exactly.
About it so long, and we were cracking
Diane,
up.
no lie. I look over that direction every time I come through the tunnel and pass there. I know exactly where it was.
Oh my God!
Because I do pass by the park sometime. I know. Remember the merry-go-round? It was metal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, that would kill you.
Imagine like shocks on your
Imagine putting coal on that in the summer, like 90 degrees. Get on this, and let me spin you around on 100-degree metal.
Burn yourself.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They redid that park recently. It might have been after we moved,
They did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was either after or when we were going to move, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's like a beautiful section back there. Like little pockets of areas are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I still use the roofer down there, Ed from Dynamic Roofing, that's right there. And he's been there forever, right at the foot of the park on the other side. But it's beautiful over there. The library's back there too. And
that's a nice little area right there.
There is some nice homes like there. I know the girls are big sports fans, Bay. So let's get quick catch up here on the Eagles, and we'll get out of here.
Okay.
Look at my shirt.
Look, say Darlene.
Oh wait, show it. You got to see it. Go down a little more.
That's awesome.
that who he is?
Catching babies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey
Unlike Aguilar.
Bay, do you remember that on the news?
You know who
I don't know
that
if you saw it. So the guy was. Go ahead, Darlene. Tell it.
Yeah.
Tell him, Darlene. He probably didn't see it.
Tell the story. Yeah.
We had Nelson Aguilar. He was a wide receiver for the
He remembers.
For the Eagles, yeah.
He would miss every catch that was thrown to him. Well, there was a fire, I guess, in Northeast Philly, wherever, and there was this guy.
He was a firefighter.
He was a firefighter on the news, and he's like, "We were catching babies. You know, they were throwing babies out the window. And we were catching babies." And he goes, "Unlike Aguilar." I mean,
Right on Channel 6 News.
Right. He looks right into the cat. Unlike Aguilar.
That's great.
yeah, big sports fans.
What do we think, Darlene? Here we got the draft coming up. They're talking. I don't want to do that deal for Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson, excuse me.
I don't either.
I do.
You do?
Yeah. I do. Star power. I want it. I want him here.
Did you think?
No, I want them to give Hurts one more year. I want them to get some at least defense, or maybe one more wide receiver, or maybe even get the guy from Atlanta. I don't know, but they need help.
That's how I feel. They need too much
and
other
with those
stuff.
3 draft picks.
What'd you think of the end of that Super Bowl? I thought the Bengals got jabbed. I mean, really,
so do I.
Making those calls late. I mean, they
would have won the game.
I know.
It was a 4th down, and they called that back.
I just think they didn't want the Bengals to win. I mean, that phantom holding call over the middle. I mean, when you have a linebacker on a wide receiver, like he didn't turn him.
No.
And I'm thinking, how's the flag come out there? I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
And they didn't do it the whole game. They didn't throw those flags.
Imagine if you're a Bengals fan.
What's that? I said the same thing.
I wanted to know if they watched the game.
You know what? Actually, I watched until halftime, and I just I was like,
second half was good.
Oh yeah.
I had really no interest in it. I was just like, it's just not.
See, we run pools, so you're all. I always run a pool every year, so at least you have, even if you're not
keeps your interest in it.
Game.
Yeah, and I got some bad
score changes.
How come I got bad numbers?
What were your numbers?
8. I think 8 and 7. 7 wasn't bad. The 8 wasn't bad.
I had a 5 and 1, but I actually won a quarter. I was kind of excited about that.
I won last year. Yeah, sure. I mean, you had a lot of people in there this year.
Yeah, I do it I've done it for probably 20 years. Love it. It's fun.
Did you just watch the game at home, or did you do a party or anything? It just kind of.
Yeah, at home. Colleen and her husband and kids were supposed to come, but they had a death in the family, so our plans got changed. But we spend Super Bowl with them every year.
Oh, that's nice.
And but her parents are in town because of the death in the family, so we canceled it. But
they look good. I mean, for their age, they look good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoying their time in Florida
before they go back to Florida.
All right, so it's believe it or not, that's how quick the time goes.
Oh my God! Yeah.
6:57. I can't thank you enough for joining us. We're gonna
Affinity.
That's my son.
Oh, okay.
See, he's a wise guy. See, that's my son, Bay. You can put it back up there, Bay.
We got this too.
Snacks by the pound.
Yeah,
it was
Tina on there, right there. Yes.
I can't even remember where that came.
Wow, Snacks by the.
Hey, Bay, the girls know so many people. You're going to get tons of views for the network with this one because they're so well loved. So they know a ton of people.
You know why? Because it's Delco, and Delco's got that. It's community. It's
there it is, Bay. You tied everything back together again. That's why you're the man on. So if you haven't looked it up, look it up. You see his name, Bay Chubby Dudley Ragni. He was part of ECW wrestling back in the day.
Oh, is that how you guys know each other?
No, well, yeah, kind of. And then we did some wrestling. We do that charity wrestling circuit. You have to come to that. That's a blast. I'm the ring announcer, and we did a charity wrestling circuit. We did a lot in Briarcliff, but Bay helped with that. He ran a wrestling. Our guest next month was part of all that too. I actually went to college with him. That's going to be a fun one. So
you know what? Let me know the next one. I'll see if I can make. I'll bring Cole.
Yeah, we'll put him right up front. He'll love it. Yeah, I got Mike Baker brings his kids. We haven't done it since COVID. It's a blast. So Mike Keener's my man, and he always hooks us up and brings the wrestlers in and does a lot of good things for us. He let me involve. It's on YouTube. I think he let me be involved in a couple of the I'll say stunts in some of the shows back when we did them a few years ago. But it's always fun, kind of just getting the old group back together again, having a conversation. It's because, we had that kind of connection back in the day, and, you kind of miss it. When I drive up and down that street, like I said, I think of everybody. I take a picture of your driveway. I see my old house.
The cars aren't in it.
You got to show Bay what that driveway looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to say it. I want to say it.
I have no idea.
Text us a picture.
Listen, so I sold 766. And they had the same issue with the driveway.
You had to do the same thing.
I said,
did you do it?
I said, you might want to take a look at 7-4 and see how we're going to handle this.
I love it.
I said, well, we might want to do something different. I said, I'm not sure. I was saying,
Broad Street. That's
I was out there repairing it one day, and God rest his soul, Bob Gamble pulled up with Sue.
Aww.
Bob said, what are you doing? I said, we're preparing Mrs. Bednarik's driveway for sale here to get it ready to go. So I'll tell you what, if you had a camera, follow us around with this real estate. It's unbelievable. I mean, it is just a hot mess.
But what other real estate agent's going to do that for you?
You got to see one time.
I know.
I know we got to go, but one time I was in Norwood, and my buddy Pat bought this house, and they shut the electric off, and FHA was coming out for inspection, and the sump pump got shut off, and there was water in the basement.
Oh.
So the hole was only 12 inches by 12 inches. So my fat rear end couldn't fit in the hole.
Oh,
so
my God. Get in there?
I put my feet and I hung upside down with the shop vac, and I'm moving the shop vac trying to get the water out of the basement.
God.
So I called my wife and I called Joanne Mary, my friend in the office. They said, if you don't hear from me in 10 minutes, I'm stuck in the hole. Send the Norwood with the police department to get my ass out of the hole.
Oh, my God.
Because I'll be stuck in here. So we do go. We went to a party a couple years ago, and with our title company, we go above and beyond. I mean, that's why I don't buy business. It's all personal connection with my clients. Everybody I'm connected to in some way. And, you feel like you got to go that extra mile for everybody. And most of who I deal with are all personal connections to people I know and love over the years. So we're going to close it out. I love you both. Thank you.
Make
sure you set up a date for us to hook up. And
I'm texting you. You text me back.
All right. Yeah, let's
in the calendar.
Yeah, let's mark. I have a few dates in between. I have my conference coming up, but let's see if we can get together.
All right.
All right, girls. Thanks for joining us. Bay,
great meeting you guys.
Nice to see you guys.
See you guys.
Take
Thanks
care.
for having
Bye
us.
bye.
Bye bye.
All right, Bay. We're
All
going to
right.
wrap it up. Thank you for going overtime, Bay. We always run long.
Oh, absolutely, man. Come on now.
Appreciate the girls.
That was
coming.
fun.
You have a conversation,
A lot of fun.
right? Yeah, you just have a conversation with some old friends. They are two of the greatest. Their mom raised them, and they're just the family's terrific people. They'll do anything for you. That's how the old neighborhood was, Glenn Osborne next month, just a little prequel next month. I cannot wait.
Oh, great.
So we're looking forward to that. We'll tell some stories of how I met Glenn, and one more thing. People love the Mike Keener interview.
It was great.
They loved it. I got text and phone calls, and they really, really enjoyed the Mike Keener interview. So, Keener, if you're listening, shout out to you, buddy. We're going to have you back on in a few months. And Bay, I'll be in touch next month.
Great.
I know you got one more show tonight, Bay, on the network.
Yeah, in an hour.
Yes, that's what I thought. Everybody, tune in, please, on Bay's network. One more show. Who's our guest, Bay? Who's a guest?
Backwoods Trouble, who I know nothing about, and I have to go study and cram for the next.
I said that's why you're so good. So now I left you 5 minutes short. Thank you. We'll talk to you next month, everybody.
Take care, Dan. Take care, everybody.
Babe.
Thanks.
All right, buddy. Take care.